In this video, we're going to show you how to install the radiator on your Honda Ridgeline located in front of the engine. Starting on the top here, we're going to go ahead and use our trim tool to remove the plastic buttons. Pop out the center, and then you can get underneath and remove the rest of the button. I'm going to continue this right across the front of our cover. We're going to remove the buttons here for the air intake as well. Going to remove this cover and set it aside. Grab the air intake, twist that up and off. On the top here, we're going to go ahead and loosen and remove these two 10mm bolts. Lift up on the bracket, pivot that out. We're going to repeat this process for the other side. Remove this bracket using our 10mm socket. Go ahead, press down on the radiator cap, twist it counterclockwise, and then lift up and remove. Set that aside. With the vehicle raised, we now need to remove the lower splash guard here. We're going to use your trim tool. We need to remove a series of these buttons here. Now if you come down, there's one normally right here. Ours is missing. And just forward of that, there's one that would normally be here. Ours is missing. Then come forward here, remove this one. If you come across the front, right underneath the bumper lip here, you're gonna pull this down. And there's three of them here, one in the middle. I wanna go ahead and remove all three of these here. And then there'll be a third one here. Ours is missing, but you want to go ahead and remove that one as well. And then just repeat the process onto the driver's side of the splash shield. All right, in this front section here, there should be a plastic clip on each side. This one is missing on ours. Remove your shield, set it aside. With the splash shield removed, on the passenger side portion of our radiator on the bottom, you're gonna find your drain petcock right there. Normally you can reach up with your hand and get to it, but it is kind of tight. I'm simply using a pair of small pliers here. Now I have a drain bucket underneath. I'm gonna turn that counterclockwise just to break the seal. Set up my drain bucket. And go ahead and crack that open. And go ahead and let that drain out. And go ahead and reach up and tighten down that petcock there. Snug that down. And then we can go ahead and move our drain bucket to the side. On the left-hand side of the radiator, we're going to go ahead and disconnect our lower radiator hose. There is a clamp here. We can use our pliers to go ahead and pinch that clamp. Now when doing this here, You want to pay attention to the condition of that hose clamp, because ours was so rusted it literally just snapped on us. I'm going to slide our drain bucket underneath, grab that hose, give it a little twist. Make sure you're wearing safety glasses and you keep your mouth shut when doing this if you're underneath it. All right, we are totally dry. And we have two transmission cooler lines. There's one just to the right of the lower radiator hose, and then there's one over on the passenger side just to the left of the petcock. These hose clamps are just as bad as the radiator hose clamp there. Once again, you're going to do the same thing. If your clamp is in good condition, you're going to pinch the two tabs together. You're going to slide it down the hose and then work the hose off just like you did the lower radiator hose. But you will lose some transmission fluid. So now that we pop that transmission line there, it's only going to drain what is in that lower portion of the hose. Go ahead and wipe this up. Let's go ahead and repeat the same on the passenger side. Let's go ahead and remove this clamp here. Work that up, and that's how it's supposed to work. Grab your hose pliers. A little twist and work that up and off. Just to the right of the transmission cooler hose here, there is a bracket on the side here, and that bracket holds the cooler line to the other side. Now it's a slotted bracket. There's a 10mm bolt that goes into the lower portion of the radiator. I am using a 1/4 inch ratchet and socket to get in there. There is a clearance issue there with the front motor mount. And once that's loose, we should be able to push that bracket up and off. Just to the left of the lower radiator hose, there's another bracket that comes down. It's almost shaped like a Z. Backward Z comes over, down, and then back over, and there's a 10mm bolt right there holding it to the base of the radiator. We're going to use our 1/4 inch ratchet here on the 10mm. There we go. I'm going to go ahead, loosen, and remove this bolt. Go ahead and remove that bolt. On the passenger side of the radiator, I'm going to use your trim tool and pop out some of the harness connectors here. And down below, we have this connector right here. I'm just going to press in on the little tab right here and separate that connector. Remove the harness here, use your trim tool if necessary. Disconnect the fan switches here. Press down on this little tab. Do the same on the other fan. Pull it harness aside. On top of the radiator, go ahead and separate the expansion hose here. Set that aside. And on the top, we have the upper radiator hose. Go Go ahead and use your pliers to go ahead and compress this. And we'll move that down. From underneath on the passenger side cooling fan shroud, there is the connector we had disconnected from up top. And the harness itself is held in place by this retainer. So I'm just using a pick to press in the little tab here. And then pull this down through. Grab that radiator and fan assembly. Lift that up and out. Now on the driver's side fan assembly on the bottom, the fan itself is going to have two plastic pins that go into these tabs, one on each side. On the top, there's going to be two 10mm bolts. On the passenger side is going to have four 10mm bolts, two here and then two on the top. I want to go ahead, loosen and remove all of these. These are 10mm. I'm going to lift up on these fan assemblies and swap them over to the new radiator. Now on the bottom of the old radiator, you're going to find these rubber grommets here. They're located right on these plastic pins at the base, and these to help insulate and locate the radiator when you put it into the cross member. Simply just spin those into position. Do that on both sides. Go ahead and take the driver's side cooling fan, put the pins in, lower down the top. Now we opted to go with new hardware. Our hardware was a little rusty, so we wanted to get some new stuff in there. And we'll go ahead and grab the other fan and pretty much line that up. We're gently going to snug these down. Take our radiator and fan assembly, going to lower it down into place. Make sure those rubber grommets line up in with the holes down in the cross member. Take your upper radiator hose, go ahead and line that up, wiggle that on. Now at this time here, you definitely want to go ahead and inspect these hoses, see if there's any bulging, cracks, splits, dry rotted, anything like that. If you are seeing any of that, you want to go ahead and replace these hoses now. If everything looks good, go ahead and swap that, put that clamp on. I like to put the clamp in the original position if you're using the original hose. Take your wire harness. I want to go ahead and start to install our connectors. Install the harness retainers on the passenger side. Okay, to run your expansion hose over. Good, and take your radiator support bracket, insert the little tab here, fold that down, and install your bolts. I'm not going to tighten this yet until we get the other side in. I'm going to repeat the same process on the driver's side. Once those are in, we're going to go ahead and snug them down. And go ahead and snug down the driver's side. Reinstall your bracket here. And then snug it down. Install your electrical connector here. You're going to press it together, you can hear it clip. Go ahead and hang that on the bracket and push that plastic clip retainer into the fan. Before we install your transmission coolant line, go ahead and remove the rubber cap. Just pop that off and discard that. And take that line, slide that down into place. If you have your original clamp, go ahead and slide that down. I grabbed a new clamp here for our radiator hose. Install your lower radiator hose. Make sure the hose clamp is good and tight. Install your transmission line on the driver's side now. Go ahead and get your bolt started up top here for that transmission coolant line bracket. All right, and just snug that down. You want to go ahead and repeat the same process for the bracket on the other side. You can bring your cover up. You want to get this in place. All right, we'll get the center button in. Now, if you have the others, go ahead and install the two on the end, and they'll proceed to the ones in the wheel well. Once you have all your push pins installed on the driver's side, go ahead and repeat the same process for the passenger side. Install the upper cover here. Once this is in place, install all of your plastic buttons across the front. Also want to go ahead and get our air intake tube installed. Press it into place. And just repeat this process right across the whole front. And we're installing our funnel kit here. You can use a regular funnel if that's what you have. Go ahead and fill this up with the appropriate coolant recommended for the vehicle. Now at this point here, we have some coolant left in here. I want to go ahead and start up the vehicle and let it run for about 5-10 minutes. Wait for that thermostat to open up. It is going to take some more of this coolant in here. Your other option is if you don't have this style of funnel and you have a regular funnel, go ahead and remove that funnel, install the cap. Let the vehicle run for 10-15 minutes or so. Let that thermostat open up. At that point there, you want to go ahead and check the expansion tank that's over on the passenger side of the fender and watch the coolant level there fluctuate as it drops down and then cools off. Make sure you fill up the expansion tank to the full level. Do not open up the radiator cap when it is hot. So you're going to fill up the radiator via the expansion tank. Install the radiator cap. To locate your transmission dipstick is just to the right of your oil fill cap and in front of the engine starter. It's this yellow hoop right here. Grab that and pull it out. Now we did lose a minimal amount of fluid when we removed the lines underneath, but what you're looking for is with the vehicle warmed up, you want to make sure that your transmission fluid is between these two dots. Now for any reason, if you do need to top off the fluid, you can use a small funnel right through that same port and add transmission fluid through there.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.